Just trying to see where we have the exposure here, if it looks good. I'm shooting at this point. I think that looks pretty good. I'm probably gonna move the light so we have a little bit more aligned, huh? Almost ripped down the entire light. How about that? I think it looks good. Woo! Almost fell down. Haven't really been that active lately because I took on a lot more than I could manage during this fall, which is great. And I'm super humbled to be able to work with so many great brands and so many good people around me and just have a blast creating things that I love. But it's also come at the cost of not being able to make YouTube videos and kind of trying to prioritize what I need to focus on. And as some of you probably might know, had something in the mustache. One of the biggest projects that I'm working on right now is my Final Cut Pro course. It's going to be one of the absolute biggest things that I've ever done, especially when it comes to my filmmaking career and what I'm doing here on YouTube as well. I'm going to drop a link down below if you want to head over there, check it out, and just get a feeling for what it is. But there's going to be an entirely separate video that announces the big reveal of the course. It's going to be like 50, 60 episodes and a total runtime of over like 3 to 4 hours initially. And then it's basically just going to keep on growing. So if you pay the one-time fee, you're going to have lifetime access, which is, in my opinion, totally awesome. And you're also going to be able to get a couple of more cool things that is coming very soon. And if you've been here on the channel for quite some time, you probably know that this entire journey is something that I've been doing with your help, because without you, it wouldn't be like none of this would be reality. I would probably be stuck in my daytime job at DHL doing things that I didn't like to do and just thinking about what could have been, I guess. And for me, it's one of those things that kind of takes me down to earth, you know, when I think about it, because being able to sit here and talk to you and share the message that I want to share together with you and having your support through all of the endeavors that I do, that for me has been mind-blowing. And I know I've said this a bunch of times, but it never ceases to amaze me how fantastic your support is. And I really appreciate that. And I want you to know that moving into next year and, you know, closing in on Christmas and all that good stuff, don't give up. You know, if you have a thought, if you have something that you want to do, try to focus a little bit extra come the new year so that you can get to the point where you want to be instead of trying to hustle in a place that you don't thrive in. I remember when I took the leap of faith, if you may, and kind of jumped out of my comfort zone to take some time out from a daytime job and all that good stuff. Something that I didn't even consider was how hard it would be for me to make a living and sustain things and take a salary and being able to actually get a loan from the bank. Something that I didn't even factor in when I quit my job. And in 2019, when Alexander was born, I remember I told Amanda that we're gonna buy a house. You know, we're gonna do that. And 2019 was by far one of the hardest years that I've ever been through, both when it comes to our living situation and the private economy that we had and all that stuff. Because I actually looked through the papers from that time, and my entire profit, like my salary that I had back in 2019 for the entire year, if you may, was $7,500 after tax. That was rough. And Amanda was on parental leave, so she did get approximately like $1,000 a month after taxes. Rough times. As the year kind of went on, I remember that I told Amanda each and every single time that I worked overtime, like, we're gonna buy a house. Don't you worry, we're gonna buy a house. And then 2020 came into play and I said, we're gonna buy a house. We're gonna buy a house. And she went more and more into the phase of, I'm not believing you, which was heartbreaking because my entire goal with having my own company and trying to make profit from my own company has always been in order for me and Amanda and Alex, ever since Alex assisted, of course, but to buy a house and being able to provide for the family and buy something that we can thrive in and that we can create our new future in. Some of you probably don't know, but when me and Amanda got together, we actually lived in an apartment that was 35 square meters for 4 years. If that isn't a test of patience, then I don't know what is. But now, together with Alex, he's 3.5, I mean like almost 4 years now, and we've been living on 52 square meters ever since it was born. And that has been rough because we don't have any more than just 2 rooms in the apartment. So Alex is in our room and we have the living room and the kitchen. They're kind of like one unit. When 2020 had passed, I kind of thought to myself, like, I need to make this work. I need to make it happen. How do I make it happen? And more sponsorships, of course, because that has been what pays the bill. That has been what pays the money for me in order to be able to do this. And I'm super honored to have been working with so many great brands. To all of you that are watching this, that are working on the brands, thank you. And to all of you that are watching my videos that are sponsored, thank you so much. In October 2021, I decided to start an incorporation because I had something that is called a sole proprietorship. I can't even say it. Sole proprietorship here in Sweden, and that is very highly taxed when you get over a certain amount of revenue and profit. So I started the corporation in October of 2021. I actually think I filed the papers back in August, but didn't have any revenue or tax stuff until October. And I started to take out like a salary. And then we went to the bank, back in January of 2022. And they said, no, we're not going to give you a loan. And I said, why? Because looking back to 2019 and 2020, it doesn't look that good because you didn't have a salary. Oh, crap. I thought to myself, like, what? How is this even possible? Because those money, they don't exist. So look at the future. And they're like, yeah, but you haven't been employed for that long. Because here in Sweden, we're employed by our own company. I don't know how it works in different countries around the world, but if my company were to kind of like go bankrupt, I'm not the responsible person to pay the debts of the company. So the bank kind of like said, no, we're not going to give you any loans. And I said, okay, screw you. I'm going to keep working for it. I worked all the way up until the summer, and we went to a different bank. And they said, yeah, you know what? It kind of looks good. We just need to look into a little bit of your company stuff. Could you send us like the yearly report and that kind of stuff? So I sent it over and we got the loan. It's like, yes, I've been working so much for this. I've been 3 years in the making. And mind you, also before I started this YouTube channel, I didn't have any saved money at all. I didn't even finish high school. I didn't have that good of a job up until I started working on DHL. So for me, being able to get the loan approved was huge. But we didn't find a house. We were looking and there were so many houses, but all of them went out from our budget. Couldn't afford it. Too much. The entire situation was wild and still is wild. Like the prices are super high. So what happened was we kind of had to fade back. We kind of had to think like, okay, maybe we're not going to buy a house now. Maybe it's a thing for the future. We did a good run, right? But Amanda kind of found a realtor that was selling like a new house that is not even yet built and a new lot. And we started talking. Amanda started talking to him, and then she passed on the torch to me, and I started talking. And then he said like, yeah, we can probably go down a bit on the price. And I was like, okay, sounds interesting. Me and Amanda started getting our hopes up, and we kind of like, this could be cool, but we don't have a loan that covers this. We need to go to a bank. So I called the bank. I booked in like a super quick appointment and said like, hey, we need a loan. Whatever you need from my company, I can send it over to you. I've been taking a salary, this and that, Amanda's salary and all that good stuff. And they were like, okay, what is it that you're gonna buy? And I was telling them that we're gonna buy a house. We're gonna buy a house and a lot, and it's not even built yet. So we need to have sort of like a building credit. They looked at me and was like, okay, sounds strange. Kind of need to meet Amanda as well before we can approve anything, because right now I only met you and you say this. We need to have both of you. So both of us went down to the bank, talked to them, and they said, you're good to go. Called up the realtor, said like, hey, if you can get the price down to this, we're gonna buy it. The realtor called me back 4 days later saying, hey, you know what? The seller can accept your bid. Thank you so much. Without you, oh. 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 I did not expect that happening, but wow, talk about emotions. Oh, I guess the whole point with this video. I guess the whole point with this video is that thank you, you know. Oh, it feels so strange. This is tears of joy. Oh. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. And I can't talk. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, shit. Whoa. Oh. We made it. You know? Do you know how good that feels? You and I. We made it happen.